sitting in the brand new Mazda MX-5. I'm lying in the bath. Can you tell? There's the water line right here.
It's an interesting way of describing the design line on the side of a car, but that's exactly what the Roadster's designer, Masashi Nakayama, told us when we visited Japan earlier this year for a sneak peek of this long-awaited car.
純粋に恋をしてほしかったんですね、車に。例えば、チーターのようなああいった動きの速い動物を見て誰に習ったわけでもなくかっこいいと思いますよね。自分の中に本能的に何かを持ってるはずなんです。それに直接応えるデザイン。
It's part of making you feel at one with the car, or what Mazda calls Jinba Itai, when two become one. And that's really what's at the heart of this new 4th generation MX-5.
And how much more connected with a car can you feel than when behind the steering wheel? Wind in your hair, hands in the tentative position, hearing it through some entertaining vents.
I was a little concerned after just a few laps of the Miyoshi Proving Ground in Japan that it wasn't as planted as I would have liked or expected of an MX-5. Not to fear, back at home, even on South African roads, it's very entertaining to drive, but without being jarring. You do expect a sports car to feel firm, but it's quite nice around town and quite pliable.
New MX-5 is 100 kilos lighter than its outgoing father, weighing in at just over a ton. That's been achieved by weight saving in a number of areas through the use of aluminium. It's been used for the front suspension, as well as in the unified structure of the body and the chassis.
There were some concerns that the 2-litre engine was going to struggle to breathe at the reef, but I have to say it delivers its 118 kilowatts and 200 newton meters very well. Not going to break any records, but it's certainly quite fun to drive and quite nippy. You expect a car like this to leap at the smell of your foot, and it does. The first time in a Mazda you've got dual pinion electric steering, which for me is maybe the only letdown on the driving side of the car. It's not quite as pointed and direct as I'd like it to be, not quite as responsive and weighted, but it really doesn't detract too much from the driving experience.
The engine is 15 millimeters back in the engine bay from where it was in the old model, and 13 millimeters lower, giving it a much more planted feeling. If you open the hood, you'll also notice that it actually sits fully behind the front axle, which is great for weight distribution. 50-50, in case you're wondering. You'll also be sitting 20 millimeters lower, which talks to their goal of feeling more connected with the car.
This though, is what is going to make you feel one with this car and totally in love with the driving experience. Specially developed for the MX-5, 6-speed manual gearbox, only a manual coming to South Africa. There is an auto available, but it's only coming next year. I love it. It's short shift, it's slick, it just like slides, it's perfect. I love it.
If Mazda has managed to achieve Jinba Itai through the fun-to-drive sporty nature of the car, then they've done an even better job of getting your heart pounding with the design of it. It is arguably the best-looking everyday roadster on the market, and if you loved the old one, this one will make you fall even harder.
It's also well thought through in terms of that oneness. If you look from your perspective, this body panel here, the color comes inside the car as well. It's supposed to feel like an extension of your arm. Sitting in the driving position like this, your arms extend. This is part of your arm and it's extending over the bonnet. It's all about that oneness. Very clever.
If you look at cars from the top, most are boxes. Mazda wanted to get rid of that with the MX-5, so they cut corners, literally. That meant moving the lights in and getting creative with some rather necessary parts of the car. It worked on the exterior, boy did it work. But on the interior of the car, some new buyers might be left feeling a bit shortchanged.
Like this. I mean, I know they wanted to save weight, but really it's a little bit stingy. If you're paying 400,000 Rand for a car, you might want a bit more than that. Also, there's no reach on the steering wheel, which, considering it is quite a snug driving position, you've got the gearbox jutting into your leg over here, it'd be nice to have a little bit more flexibility in the seating position. But really, other than that, there's not much I don't like about this car. I mean, look, how smart is this? One click of a button, and you go topless to naught. Quicker than Paris can say Hilton.
It's a smart little car all round, and at a pretty smart price considering our weakening rand. Even though it's bizarrely slightly shorter than the original 1989 model, Mazda have managed to make it feel roomier inside.
Unlike so many other new models that are bigger, wider, longer with each new generation, this little character stayed true to its heritage. It's on a shorter wheelbase, sits lower, and at around 400,000 Rand, it's still truly an affordable sports car. I think we'll be seeing a lot more people wanting to go topless once they set eyes on the new Mazda MX-5. It's brilliant, it's sporty, it's fun, it makes you feel happy. What more do you want in a car?